Good morning, India. Good morning, humanity. I am sorry to address unprecedented violence, the refugee influx, and the farce, the democracy reduced to farce in this geopolitics and in India. And मुझे आज गाय पर मचे घमासान पर और आइडेंटिटी पॉलिटिक्स पर एक साथ बोलना है. आई हैव टू स्पीक, आई हैव टू deal all these issues together. First, it is a news 86 dead in attack on Ankara peace rally. At least 86 people were killed on Saturday when two explosions ripped through groups of leftist and pro-Kurdish activists gathering for an anti-government peace rally in the Turkish capital Ankara. Mind you, it is anti-government peace rally, and the rally was organized by the leftist groups. We have seen the resistance in Greece most recently, and now the messengers of Arabian Spring, the activist groups in Africa, they have been awarded Nobel Prize. Svetlana from Belarus has been awarded Nobel Prize for Literature. And in India, everybody is working for political correction. Everybody is endorsed to set right the political equation. Nobody is concerned with this unprecedented violence. This world literally on fire. That's it. The democracy is reduced to farce in India. Civic polls in Bengal witnessed unprecedented violence, and the news in Bengali Delhi speaks নবান্নে নিশ্চিন্ত মমতা. উবে গেল বিজেপি, খানিকটা ভোট বাড়িয়ে প্রধান বিরোধী শক্তি বামেরাই. And it is after unprecedented violence. Students are not agitating against knowledge economy. They are politically divided. They are identity-wise divided, and they are fighting for their dominance of their identity, dominance of their political party. They are not addressing the issues. Even elections held in cooperative committees in different sectors, those are inflicted with violence. And this Anand Bazar, Delhi, Gajwarir Joy Joykar. It means the muscle power wins. It is the problem. In Bihar, we are witnessing intensive hate campaigning, and last day we wrote about the vertical division of India into Hindutva and Islam. We have got a letter from London, from Fabo, which took the initiative to get a memorial for Dr. Ambedkar in London. And Maharashtra government has been credited to acquire the property. And all SC, ST, OBC communities are obliged. It is in thy name, Ambedkar. Memorials and everything to subordinate, to enslave the excluded community. Dr. Anand Gotel Tumbre questioned the logic of these celebrations, of these memorials, which stimulate the identity. And it is identity war, it is the war in between the caste alliances. It is not politics, it is identity war, and thus devoid of politics, devoid of economics, devoid of public welfare, public hearing, equity and justice, this democracy is reduced to a farce. I have to read a news item in Dainik Jansatta, and it reads like that. अदालत से सड़क तक जारी है गाय पर घमासान। देश में गाय को लेकर हंगामा जारी है। निर्दलीय विधायक इंजीनियर राशिद के गोमांस पार्टी का आयोजन करने और उधमपुर जिले में गायों का कथित वध किए जाने के विरोध में जम्मू जिले में शनिवार को लगभग पूरी तरह बंद रहा। वहीं जम्मू कश्मीर हाईकोर्ट ने शनिवार को 3 न्यायाधीशों के पीठ का गठन किया, जो राज्य में गोमांस पाबंदी के खिलाफ दायर एक याचिका पर 15 अक्टूबर को सुनवाई करेगी। वहीं शनिवार को श्रीनगर में गोहत्या पर लेकर बुलाया गया बंद शांतिपूर्वक निपट गया। इसके साथ ही राजद प्रमुख लालू प्रसाद के हिंदू भी बीफ खाते हैं कि बयान को सही ठहराने की कोशिश करते हुए पार्टी के नेता रघुवंश प्रसाद ने यह कहकर एक नए विवाद को जन्म दे दिया कि प्राचीन भारत में ऋषि मुनि भी गोमांस खाते थे। Manpuri is burning, and the communal right might flare up anywhere, anytime. The country is divided on beef, and it stimulates the religious partition, the religious divide, the religious polarization, which benefits BJP. We have to read in between the lines. As the Ankara blast tells that the blasts were targeted to disturb the leftist and Kurdish rally. And now it seems that this beef ban is also meant for religious polarization, for the win of identity war in the caste war. That's it. Now, Economic Times has published in Sunday Economic Times, why the Dadri episode is a challenge to pluralism. A vegetarian Muslim explains why more important than what enters into mouth is what comes out of it. Sri M is the writer. Eminent journalist and columnist Swaminathan S. Ankleshwarya Iyer, whilst writing about the unfortunate beef-related lynching in Dadri, proudly admitted that he is a Brahmin, as if the Iyer is his name and did not suffice. Although especially qualified beef eating Brahmin. Cheers. Especially if he is the alcohol imbibing variety. If I may be permitted as a comparatively unknown individual, admit equally joyfully that my name is Mumtaz Ali Khan, aka Sri M, as my Hindu friends call me, and I do not eat beef, of course, of choice. One of my old friend, Ummen Thomas, who also does not consider beef as his staple diet, once told me how his fellow Christian students at Madras Christian College persuaded him to eat beef, saying, Thomas, you are a Christian, you must eat beef. In the Muslim household where I was brought up, no one ate beef for 3 generations and did not think it strange. It means beef eating is not an issue. यह कोई मसला नहीं है, इसको हम लोग जबरन मसला बना रहे हैं. आज जनसत्ता का रविवारी में भी गोमांस का मसला है और इसका शीर्षक है गोरक्षा आंदोलन गोरक्षा आंदोलन का गणित. गोरक्षा आंदोलन तमाम अंतर्विरोधों से घिरा एक विचित्र आंदोलन है. सनातन धर्म के मूल्यों को बचाने का दावा करने वाला यह आंदोलन आर्य समाज के प्रभाव में ताकतवर हुआ. धार्मिक होते हुए भी इस आंदोलन के निहितार्थ ज्यादातर मौके पर राजनीतिक है. पहले यह अंग्रेजों के विरुद्ध था, लेकिन बाद में मुसलमानों के खिलाफ हो गया. इसके असर में दंगे हुए तो एकता भी हुई. अतीत की रोशनी में इस मुद्दे की पड़ताल कर रहे हैं अरुण कुमार त्रिपाठी. अंग्रेज इतिहासकार जब यह साबित करने लगे थे कि वैदिक युग में ब्राह्मण गोमांस खाते थे, तब दयानंद सरस्वती उसे गलत साबित करने में लगे थे. दोनों वैदिक साहित्य की ही अपने ढंग से व्याख्या कर रहे थे. संयोग से वह समय भारत के प्रथम स्वाधीनता संग्राम 1857 के ठीक बाद का है. उस संग्राम के सैनिकों के बगावत की एक महत्वपूर्ण वजह कारतूसों में गाय और सुअर की चर्बी का लगाव होना था. इट इज वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. In jest, I have already warned that we should avoid cultural shock because the issues concern the general public, the masses, and those masses are not scientists. They are not intellectuals. They have not the methodology to add and deduct. They are not technically expert. They have their faith. They have their own religion, their own belief, and they have their own lifestyle. We should not insult them for their lifestyle. And as it happened for at least 1000 years after the entry of Islam in India, beef is the part of Indian recipe. Of course, it is Muslim recipe, and it never had been the bone of contention. The first incident, as this Jansatta write-up says, where beef meant something, is the incident of first Indian struggle for freedom in 1857, when the Carthage was the root of the rebellion. It was said the cartridge is made of beef as well as pork, which united the Muslim and Hindu personnel in Indo-British army, and they revolted. This reference to beef has to do something to unify Indian people, and they rose against imperialism, irrespective of their religion. But now, this beef gate is dividing India vertically, and it is suicidal. It is suicidal, as I am not interested in local politics. I don't say or write anything about Bengal politics because it is vertically divided in TMC and CPIM, and BJP intruded meanwhile quite strongly. BJP intruded, and before the last Lok Sabha election, the Prime Minister candidate Narendra Bhai Modi, who later became the Prime Minister of India, tried his best to divide Bengal vertically in Hindu and Muslim. He spoke setting Bengal on fire, and Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister of Bengal, protested in her way, in her linguistics, and he was in defense of the minorities. BJP branded the refugees in Bengal and countrywide as illegal infiltrates, and BJP tries to deprive them of citizenship. BJP has got the agenda to deport this entire lot of refugees, Hindu as well as Muslim. That's it. They have no sympathy for the Hindu refugees, because Hindu Dalit refugees scattered all over the country, the Bengali refugees, the Tamil refugees, even the Sikh, Rai Sikh, and the ST, SC, OBC Sikh refugees do not enjoy the favor of the hegemony. Bengali refugees have been targeted as they have been resettled in tribal areas full of natural resources. As the tribal population, the tribal geopolitics in India, the tribal geography in India, physically the central India, which is full of mining resources, has been targeted specifically by Desi Videsi corporate companies, and for their interest, in their best interest, all legislation is done in the parliament and state assemblies. All laws are modified. Even the rights of the working class have been killed. Civic rights suspended. Human rights suspended. It is Salwa Julum all over. It is Afsa or Afaspa all over. Armed Force Special Power Act is the linguistics in Kashmir and Northeast also, where civic right and human right means nothing. Humanity means nothing. It is brute military power. The state is transferred in brute military power. On the one hand, it is brute military power, and on the other hand, it is religious polarization. It is identity war. It is caste war. The ultimate result is violence, unprecedented violence. We have opted for the economy which destroyed Greece. Greece, which lended Germany when Germany was in trouble, and Germany has become the Shahukar, the Mahajan, and Germany is interested in the asuli of Sud, in interest, and thus the Greece crisis is unplugged down. It is unplugged. And in Greece, everything is privatized. Every essential need, every essential service has been linked to market. And we see the result is bankruptcy. I have been warning that we have opted for free market economy, and it means India is going to be bankrupt. I have dubbed the RBI governor, Mr. Rajan, who is known for famous or infamous rate cuts, as bankrupt, the greatest bankrupt, because RBI itself has been privatized. All 27 departments of Reserve Bank of India have been privatized. All public sector unit banks are managed by private parties, and they have to be privatized. Every hospital has to be privatized. Every school has to be privatized. Port, railway, transport, electricity, energy, water supply, and whatever sector it is privatized. And at the same time, in this adamant scenario of free market economy, free flow of foreign capital and foreign interest, it is so hyped blind nationalism. And that blind nationalism is rooted in intensive hate campaign. And that hate campaign is all about the beef ban. Otherwise, beef had not disturbed Indian pluralism, diversity and unity. And as I have discussed, beef and pork, two banned food items, one for Hindu and one for Islam, virtually united India in its fight for freedom way back in 1857. And one of the item, beef, is dividing India today. It is suicidal. It might be. It may turn out to be. The political campaign should turn otherwise, and the Muslims may opt for pork ban, and it would further intensify the identity war. Today, I have talked to Dr. Anand Teltumde on this identity politics. He has already written a beautiful piece in thy name. I have discussed that article. I have discussed the maiden speech of Dr. Ambedkar in Constituent Assembly. I have discussed the declassified police recording of Netaji's address to Bengal youth defending pluralism and diversity of the nation and pledging a mandatory resistance against fascism. Well, at least 5 Sahitkar from India returned Sahitya Academy Award. I know their track record is not very good, as one of them, Dr. Ashok Bajpayee, had been instrumental in Indira Gandhi's fascism, and Mr. Uday Prakash, who initiated this campaign, has been quite a controversial creative writer and had been detached all the way. Sarah Joseph had been a political activist, but I respect their conscience. Their conscience to come out, to speak out against this religious divide, against this unprecedented violence. Sahitya Academy is autonomous. Well, it is working for Indian languages. But the president of Sahitya Academy, Vishwanath Prasad Tiwari's verdict that the writers who are lodging their protest and returning Sahitya Academy Award, they are disturbing the autonomy of Sahitya Academy. And he claims the awardees had been recognized for Sahitya Academy Award. It is brute. It is false. No writer is recognized for any damn prize. He is recognized for his works, and the works do sustain themselves beyond time limit. We read Shakespeare even after 5,000 years. We read Kalidas even after 2,000 years. We read Homer, we read Vyas, we read Valmiki, and all the ancient literature they have sustained. We read Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, who were not favored by the hegemony. We read Voltaire, who had been subjected to capital punishment again and again, who wanted to kill his all writing. We read Tolstoy and Sartre, who refused Nobel Prize because their works meant humanity. They addressed humanity. They were concerned to sustain the natural resources, nature, climate, the ecology, the biocycle, and it is the inner strength of their Literature and art and culture is all about humanity. It has nothing to do with politics, and it is the creativity which has to be bound to be apolitical. It is not detached from political system. It has to criticize the polity and the politics. It has to criticize the economy, exclusion, genocide, ethnic cleansing, Holocaust, and it should be concerned with the refugee influx, the plight of humanity, the plight of mankind, the suffering of humanity. It is full of the blood which flows in all those rivers created by politics as well as economics, and which are captured, monopolistically captured by the class rule, by the hegemony. And this religious divide, this unprecedented violence is all about power politics. Thus, Til Tumre asks the justification of identity. Why should we cling with identity? Because identity, and specifically the caste identity, is the cause of the hell losing. He dubs it the hell of Hindu. And we are claiming that we are Ambedkarites. Ambedkar had the agenda of caste annihilation, and he worked for that lifelong, and we are not interested at all to kill the caste, but we are doing everything to sustain the caste, and the politics is reduced into a all-out caste war, where the citizen has nothing to say. The citizen has no representation. The citizen is not empowered at all. The citizen is deprived of citizenship, sovereignty, privacy, civic rights, human rights, and he has no say in this political system. There is no public hearing. They cannot lodge any FIR for their grievances. If they lodge, they have to be stripped in public. It happened recently, and it is a shame. It happened in Manipur when the mothers stripped themselves in open daylight to protest, encounter rape and armed force special power act. The girl, the Santhal girl in Guwahati, she was stripped because she was demonstrating, she was demanding reservation for Santhals. That Santhal girl was stripped down, and this political striptease is the latest trend. It is suicidal, it is inhuman, it is rude. I am not in a mood to go in details. The politics is reduced in memorials. The politics is reduced in celebrations of birth and death anniversaries. We kill our icons. we kill the national leadership, we kill the conscience of the nation, and then we make icons, we make gods and goddesses, we make the dictator. Dictator is not a natural thing. The dictators do not spring out of the ground. They do not land from the sky. They are not the blue from the sky. We create the dictator to sustain our own individual or communal interest. It is the phenomenon of dictatorship as well as it is the phenomenon of fascism. It is the phenomenon of the governance of fascism, which is in character communal, in act communal, in agenda communal, and even in economics it is communal. Because we have no opportunity to amend the worsening relationship. जो फिजा खराब हुई है उसको सुधारने का कोई मौका नहीं। जो कयामत का मंजर है उसके मुकाबले का कोई रास्ता नहीं। Because we have destroyed the production system. We are adamant to kill the peasantry. We are adamant to kill the workers, the business communities, the industries, and we are opting for builder, mafia, promoter, syndicate Raj. And it is all about the political war, all about the caste war. It is all about muscle power and money power. It is all about corruption. It is all about black money. And it is the political system. And it is also the economics, which has no bottom, which has no production system. And we Indian people have no relationship, no interaction as producers, because we produce nothing. We are enslaved in service sector because the economy has been reduced into an infinite service sector. Everything is linked to market, and our political leaders, our national leaders are behaving like rock stars. They are the sales agent of the market. They are no better than the film stars advertising and launching the consumer products. Our political leaders are launching and relaunching hatred. They are launching and relaunching partition. They are launching and relaunching the iconic identity war. And the result is again the same. It is unprecedented violence. I am afraid if Turkey is bleeding today, it might be another country. It might be another people anywhere in this world. Even it may be America. It might be United Kingdom. It might be Russia. It might be China. It might be Indian geopolitics, specifically South Asia. As the Middle East, as the African country, as the Islamic world bleeds, we are creating those circumstances around us with this identity politics, with this religious partition, with this fifth gate. Hence, I talked earlier. Skip. Fifth gate. Avoid culture shock. We have to address the people. We have to address the production system. We have to address the economy. We have to address the basic problems. We have to address the grievances of the toiling masses. We have to sustain civic rights, human rights. We have to sustain humanity and nature. We have to sustain the production system. Otherwise, it is the suicidal, unprecedented violence, and it is not the singular case study of any country. It is not the case of just Greece. It is not the case of just Turkey. It is not just the case in America only, or in United Kingdom, or in India. It is universal. The crisis is universal, and we can address this crisis opting for universal brotherhood, opting for universal humanity, and I am trying my best to invoke that humanity worldwide, and hence I am addressing humanity, no specific demography. Because I belong to India, hence I have to say good morning to all Indians, but I am addressing the universal brotherhood, and I hope that I would get positive response from the world, from the humanity sooner or later, because I am speaking different language, I am dealing with different aesthetics, my linguistic is different from that official monkey bate. Thanks. Good morning India. Good morning humanity.